Hello everyone, welcome to my new video about Raspberry Pi cluster. I have all the parts here which I'm going to use to build my Raspberry Pi cluster. My Raspberry Pi cluster is going to contain 8 Raspberry Pis, like you see here. I have all the equipment ready. I'll tell you what is it. So first of all, Raspberry Pis. What is a Raspberry Pi? As you maybe know, is a smart computer of a size of a credit card. It contains everything what computer is supposed to contain. It's a CPU processor. There's a memory here. You have a network socket, Ethernet. You have USB ports. You have here the round one is a audio jack. Here is HDMI input, so you can connect your HDMI cable and connect it with your monitor or your TV. Here you got the little one is micro USB port. Here you got socket for memory card, which is gonna contain operating system, which is Linux. And here you got the little pins is a GPIO, is general input output. You can connect here electronics. Basically, you can build your own, for example, home CCTV system or control any electronic device basically through your Raspberry Pi. So I got Raspberry Pi here. I have memory card reader because system on Raspberry Pi is recorded on micro SD card, which you can see here, micro SD cards. And this is adapter. We're gonna connect it to my PC, and we will install operating system, which is Raspbian. It is a kind of version of Linux for Raspberry Pi. And all the cards we're gonna spread over the Raspberry Pis. We're gonna use that USB power supply, which is quite important. I don't want to use 8 different like phone charger style of power supply. So about this USB power supply, this one is 60 watts, and each output, I got a 6 here, got 5 volts and 2.4 amps per each. So this is sufficient for Raspberry Pi, 5 volts and 2.4 amps. I got a here network switch. We're gonna connect we're gonna connect all the Raspberry Pis thanks to those Ethernet cables to that switch. And they will be able to talk through each other thanks to that network connection. I got here micro USB power supplies, which is gonna connect that power supply through to each Raspberry Pi. Like I said before, I have got 8 Ethernet cables. We're gonna use them to connect Pis through Ethernet port to that switch. I got some spare socket for the cables, network cables. If I need to make longer or shorter cable, I'm gonna use these and that fancy lovely tool that you can see here. Maybe you know it, maybe you don't. If you don't, I'll show you how to use it. What else do I have? I got here brand new Nokia Display, which is basically made to connect to electronics like Raspberry Pis. We might connect it with the one of the outputs in a GPIO to display some data on it, like IP addresses or anything what we want to do. And here's the last device that I have is a cable tester for network cables. If I will decide to make cables shorter or longer, because I have a spare network cable in my drawer, if I decide to make new ones, I will test it if I make all the connections properly. I have as well my PC here. Like you see, is a machine connected to internet, and I'm gonna use it to install my software on Raspberry Pis. And I have another few things here. Like you see here, I have two boxes like that, which contains all the screws and all the supports I'm going to use to build my Raspberry Pis into one big tower. I'm not gonna build my cluster, which is gonna lie down here on the table like that. I'm gonna pile it up, and I'm gonna build one tower, and I'm gonna spread all devices like a network hub and USB hub around it to make one nice, good looking system. And I have here as well a few radiators for Raspberry Pis. Like you see, there's a few big ones and a few small ones. What is it for? It's for Raspberry Pi. Like you see, the CPU, the processor, is bigger and the memory is a bit smaller, so I'm gonna use the big one to for the processor, and the smaller for memory. I have two packets. It contains 10, and I have here sets of SD card. There's a 16 gigs card coming straight away with Raspberry Pi that I bought in a set with chargers, but I wanted to use 32 gigs, so I bought few of these SanDisk's 32 gigs card, and I will see which one I'm going to use. Don't worry, I'm gonna need them because I'm not using just Raspbian just for that cluster. I am running my own HTTP and email servers through one of the Raspberry Pis, which I have recorded on which card. I'll make a little sticker somewhere. Where is it? Yeah, it's that one. That sticker is gonna tell me this is the SD card here, which contain my Linux, my Raspbian, and on this card I have my HTTP server as well as my website, which is a WordPress website, which is available through internet for the people, because I used Google DNS to redirect the network, the redirect that address to my IP address assigned to through Virgin Media, and basically my website is installed on that card. That's it for the beginning. I will start to build my Raspberry Pi cluster today, and I'll try to record all the movies how I'm doing this, so you will be able to see it. And maybe you saw that before. This is my older setup, testing setup. Like you see, I have the longer cables here, Ethernet cables, which are making quite big mess. That's why I bought the small ones. And I have the other tools just to make it short if I have to, because I just hate have the wires like that. That's the old Ethernet switch, which I used before. I bought new one because this is like quite old school and it's getting hot very quick. So I'll try to build my Pi on the top of that one. I will see how I'm gonna do it. Maybe I'm gonna use different setup. Okay, so bear with me in another videos, and we will try to build it together. Yeah. Okay. That's it.